Hey everybody, this is David Blacker, and I just put together a little video that demonstrates an acoustic blues technique called steady bass picking, and I explore a lot of this in an upcoming release from TrueFire.com called Lone Wolf Blues, and Lone Wolf Blues is about acoustic styles of roots guitar from early acoustic blues to different other roots styles. So this is a real fundamental kind of aspect, at least of acoustic blues playing, from players like Robert Johnson and Big Bill Broonzy, all the way up to modern players. You hear this style, and basically what it is, steady bass picking, is basically keeping the bass note going while the other strings are playing melodies or picking out other parts of other rhythmic patterns. So let me get into the piece. The piece here is sort of reminiscent of Robert Johnson's Love in Vain, although simplified just to kind of illustrate the technique of steady bass picking. So it's in the key of A. I will play through it once, and then I will talk through the different aspects of it. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Standard 12-bar blues in A. So let's talk about some real basics. You know, one of the fundamental parts of this technique is palm muting. So you want to rest your hand on the bridge of the palm, on the bridge of the guitar, rest your palm, and what it does is it creates, you don't exaggerate, just kind of lay it flat, and rather than having it like sticking up or anything weird like that, just sort of covering the string so it mutes it a bit, so you get this effect with the bass notes rather than ringing. So that's called palm muting, and that happens throughout this piece. Like on each chord we'll be switching to different strings, and the palm is still keeping everything muted down here and giving it that cool sound. So that's palm muting. Now, as far as the rhythmic action here, we have 4 steady quarter notes happening with the bass on each chord of the progression. So we got that's steady rolling throughout the whole thing. And then when it moves to the 4 chord, picking the 2nd fret of the low E, still palm muting, back to the 1, and then on the 5 chord, open low E, 4, back to the 2nd fret. So the only thing I'm illustrating here is that we'll be moving bass notes, okay? But in each measure, every bass note is only getting 4 beats, okay? And basically what's happening on the higher end, or in the melody, is this sort of triplet thing. So okay, so the trick here is putting that together with the bass notes, which can be tricky at first. So I recommend playing it slowly. Okay, so that's basically that. That's basically the 1 chord. And on the 1 chord, we have a shape that we're taking from just, basically barring the 2nd fret of the guitar all the way down from the D string to the high E. But then we're stretching our pinky out to the 5th fret to get this A note here, sort of octave sound. And then we move to the 7th, very common sort of delta move. take your time, try to get the syncopation going again slowly, real nice and slow. And if you have to just play the first note, keep your foot tapping, at first. Just 1, 1, that kind of thing, because it's kind of tricky at first. 4 chord, we move to this shape, which is a kind of a D7. It's got a 9 up top. It's a great kind of non-standard 4 chord here in a delta style. So we got, and we're picking here on the low E, and then the D with our index finger, the G with our middle finger, and the B with our ring. And don't be afraid to snap that walk up. So we got the steady bass stops obviously during the walk, and then we're back into the chord. And then you have really common Delta blues thing, Delta bluesism you might say, or bluesism in general. It's just a chord substitution. So we're coming from the 4 chord back to the 1, and we got 2 beats on the 1 chord, and then we slide into like what would be on the top string, a D7 moved up 2 frets to an E7. So we're just alternating between root and 5. Creates a nice little motion in the tune. And then for the 5 chord, instead of we could have stayed there and then gone there. I'm just illustrating the options, but I chose to go standard E7 chord, and then to your D7, and then the turnaround. Okay, and this turnaround, you've heard it a million times, but it's a nice little thing here. So you have your pinky, or I tend to start with my pinky on the high E on the 5th fret, and then my ring finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and then it's this. So it's like a quarter note triplet, I believe, and then a regular. So quarter note triplet and then 2 regular triplets. So okay, you could play this all triplets too. Okay, and then we end it with what is a C7 shape all the way up on the 7th fret to give that fat E7 sound. And we slide in, the first note is just the 7th fret of the A string, and then we pick the D, G, and B strings all alone again, and then the whole chord, all 4 strings at once. So just the 5th string, then the D, G, B, and E, D, G, and B, and then again, and then the whole chord. So that's the whole thing. Have some fun with it. The idea is to just start getting this triplet feel going. It doesn't matter that you're so precise with the rhythm. Just try to, you can mix the rhythms up. The idea is to keep that bass going and have something else happening with the melody. Now in Lone Wolf Blues, we'll be exploring more independence, so you can kind of pick out notes while doing the steady bass. But this is just a little introduction. Check out Love in Vain, and you'll get some inspiration hopefully from this tune. So I'll be putting out more videos. I hope you like it, and see you later.